Hi there. Happy July 4th. How's it going? Wanted to hop on and do a little update on the Tropics and just talk a little bit about that and what's in store for the rest of our holiday weekend, or at least heading into our holiday weekend. Join in, bring any questions you may have. I'm looking at what we have right now. Anybody on? Not seeing anything just yet, but I have the questions pulled up over here and see 37 of you watching, at least on Facebook. So thank you so much. I'm glad that you're tuning in despite it being a holiday, and hopefully your holiday is going super well so far. So at 2 o'clock, we now have a 70% chance of development. And either way, whether this becomes the tropical depression, or it remains subtropical, it's still going to bring heavy rain to the southeast. We've been dealing with heavy rain here. We'll still have some wraparound bands trying to swing back into Florida. We also still have some energy aloft. So between the two and all the tropical moisture in play, we're going to continue to stay unsettled. But this is now an invest. That means we can run our tropical models on this. And as we speak, the hurricane hunters are actually heading into this system to gather some more data, see how the structure of this thing is looking right now. And bear with me, I have Facebook up. I see 6 of you watching. That is wonderful. Happy 4th of July. If you're just joining us, we're live on Facebook and we're live on YouTube. And you can see a lot of this. We now have meteorologist Laura Blanchard in the house. She just popped in to the Storm Center.
Hi, everybody.
Just doing a little Tropics update / 4th of July update.
Good stuff.
So right now, a lot of this data shows this system swinging up toward the Carolina coastline and then getting picked up and lifted off to the northeast eventually as we head into next week. So it could eventually, if it can hold together, bring some heavier rain up to portions of the mid-Atlantic. So if you have plans maybe on the Jersey beaches, the Virginia beaches, North Carolina really up and down the eastern seaboard, you'll still want to watch this, especially if you have travel plans to head back home. Now, in terms of the depression chances, we've been talking about this for the last really few days. You can see how high the chances are, and obviously this is what the National Hurricane Center has continued to pick up on, why these chances have continued to increase little by little. But as we head closer to early next week, the chances do start to diminish, and at that point, I think by the time we get into late next week, we should see the chances really dropping off. So I would think that if this does become a depression, or maybe even a weak tropical storm, it should start to fade away as we head into next week. Now, I do see 75 of you watching. Now, that is wonderful. I thought I had Facebook up on my phone, and I do, but I guess I cannot see all of your questions or comments. So I'm going to bop on over to my Facebook page on the computer. So hopefully this will help. So bear with me. Give me 1 second. If you have any questions off the top of your head, you can throw them in right now as I'm doing this. All right, let's see. I think it's going to work. Maybe not. Okay. All right, let's see. Hello to all of you, and it's going to maybe put in a code. So sorry for this little delay, but it's giving you time to think of a question if you have any questions. Also, let me know what you're doing for the 4th of July. Let's see, did I get a code? I did. All right, okay, we're almost there. Okay, gotta love technology, right? It's always jumping through hoops. Okay, heading to. Not sure if internet's having an issue. Oh my gosh, what is happening here? Goodness gracious. Okay. All right, guys. I am almost there on my page, and that's what I'm looking at right now. Seeing if I'm not missing any of your comments. I see 66 of you watching. That is wonderful. Always, okay. All right, turn this down. All right. Hello, Michelle. Hello, Peters. How are you? You thought you had more rain in Ocala. I get that 1,000%. I totally understand that. And as we head through the remainder of our weekend, I'm sure we're going to have some rain that is going to be moving moving into your neck of the woods. All right, let me see here. Let me get back into our system real fast here. All right, okay. All righty. So we talked about the depression potential, but I also want to talk a little bit about subtropical versus tropical systems, because that is something that we've been throwing around a lot this week. And maybe you've heard us on the air say this could become tropical, this may stay subtropical or extratropical. So what really does that mean? For us, at least in this case, essentially the same thing, because we're going to continue to see showers and thunderstorms, heavy rain. Hello, Amelia. Hello, Sear. All right, so in terms of how they form, that's a difference. In terms of how they look like from an atmospheric standpoint, they're a little bit different. But either way, they can still bring wind. They can still bring heavy rain. So if we're saying a subtropical system, they're oftentimes messier looking. They're less symmetrical. They're not that nice circular sort of system that you see when we have a tropical storm forming or a hurricane forming. And also, when you take a look at the atmosphere as a whole, there are cooler temps aloft, just like you would see with the system moving over, the heart of the country, through the plains, through the Great Lakes, upper Midwest, wherever you see a strong system across the U.S. mainland, you have cooler temps aloft. That's instability, and that's what makes these storms tick, essentially. Now, we call them cold core or cool core areas of low pressure. A tropical system has warm air through and through, from the surface all the way high up in the sky, and that means it is what we call a warm core low. And with a hurricane or a tropical system, that wind, gets stronger the closer you get to the center, and that's where we have the strongest of storms, producing the worst of the weather around the eye, right? And they're oftentimes a lot more organized, and they usually develop in warm water, usually 80 degrees or higher. It's a little breakdown of how these look, how these fare and form as they develop. And with the subtropical system, they form with the help of fronts, or the collisions of air masses, warm and cold. That's how you get storms, right? When you have two different air masses that butt heads, you start to see thunderstorms form and weather systems start to develop. Now, a tropical system, the main fuel source is the water. So that's how we start to see tropical systems form. You'll have it's an organized area of thunderstorms, but with the fuel of the warm water, they continue to grow and organize. So that's a little breakdown of subtropical versus tropical systems. So I hope that helped. Hopefully that cleared some things up for you if you were wondering what that meant. Okay, so in terms of our impact days, we had an impact day Wednesday, we had one yesterday, and we have one for July 4th, for today. Essentially, it's just for the tropical environment that we're in. Downpours, maybe a few stronger storms, gusty wind, a fair amount of lightning. We've seen those yesterday afternoon. We saw them on Wednesday, and we could see them again today. And rainfall totals, 2 to 4 inches is a good bet for most of us. There could be some isolated amounts higher than that, depending on if you get in on a really big storm, a good downpour. So that's something, if you're getting out trying to enjoy some 4th of July festivities, watch the Fox Local app, keep your eyes to the sky, and just monitor the radar, because these things could pop up and all of a sudden you could be in a pretty nasty storm. And that's what we're going to see throughout the remainder of our day. Hit or miss storms, scattered in nature. Not all of us will be seeing rain at the exact same time, but there's still going to be some rain out there. And we have some out there right now. So let's zoom in. We can, ooh, that is interesting. I've never seen that happen before. Well, let me hop off of our storm tracker, our exclusive radar. There might be some sort of bug or glitch that it's dealing with right now. Let me hop on over to our that is so weird. I'm kind of amazed. I've never seen that before. Okay, let me hop over to Melbourne. Okay, so that looks a little better. All right, you can see these showers and thunderstorms kind of moving from northwest to southeast, kind of in a counterclockwise-ish motion, if you will. Remember, if that area of low pressure is off to our north and east, you're getting that larger scale counterclockwise motion. So that kind of makes sense that these are working off to the south and east. Some heavy rain right now. Let me stop the loop here. All right, we can see some heavy rain close to Melbourne, across the heart of Brevard County, US 192, hugging I-95. Definitely, you'll need to watch these. Let's get the lightning on here. A lot of lightning with this. Let's see, get a counter on there. 340 strikes in recent past year. Really heavy rain up near Cocoa Beach. Cape Canaveral could have a little bit of gusty wind with this activity. I can actually pull up our velocity here. It doesn't look all that crazy, but we can bounce through some of these storms. 20, 30 mile per hour wind gusts, maybe some spots maybe around 35 to 40, 30 to 40 if you get some air rushing out of any of these stronger storms. But thankfully no warnings, but a couple of stronger storms with the help of all the moisture in the air, some of the instability, that is certainly on the table. Good little storm near the airport. So this may potentially cause some delays around OIA, something you want to watch. Keep tabs on your latest flight information. Some more up toward Juliota near Bithlo, right up into Seminole County. And as we zoom out, you can see more rain across Volusia County, north of DeLand along 1792. And I should say along US 92 and US 17, just north of 1792, essentially where they split off there. So not all of us are seeing rain. That's what I wanted to hit home to you. Some more heavy rain down along I-4, heading southwestward. Maybe you're heading toward the Gulf beaches for the weekend to celebrate the 4th. You may encounter some rain if you're heading out of the metro. I see 74 of you watching. Thank you so much for hopping on and saying hello and joining me. I'm going to bounce it over to YouTube here, make sure I'm not missing. I see 136 of you watching. That is wonderful. Amy, hello to you. Haven't seen any rain in Ormond Beach. I'm sure you'll get some. Kevin Hawthorne. Hello, Kevin. How are you? Sending hello and good vibes to you in Lakeland. Okay. Kelly, no rain for you in Pasco. Okay. Thanks for the update. Well, I appreciate all of you hopping on. This is great. And hey, let me know what you're doing for the 4th. I know I mentioned that already, but if you have anything fun for the 4th, let me know. I think once I get off work, we might try to go hit up some fireworks if we can in Deltona. And speaking of fireworks, let's throw on the fireworks forecast here, shall we? Chances for rain still going to be high, but that 70% chance, even though it seems high, kind of like yesterday, I don't think all of us will be seeing rain at the same time. And as we head through the night, chances will start to diminish. Really, it helps when you have the destabilization, the afternoon heating. That really helps these storms blossom, and that's what we get in Florida each and every day, usually in the rainy season, right? If the conditions are favorable. But in this pattern, it's because of that stalled front, energy aloft, or an area of upper level low pressure. We've seen more in the way of rain. Bruce, thanks for the report there. Thunder north of DeLand, but no rain yet. Black sky. I bet it's looking a little more threatening. I can bounce back over to the radar for sure. All right. Barcotics, how are you? Wonder if that disturbance is already sucking most of the energy out of Florida. Let me go back to the satellite imagery because it kind of is, but we still have aloft some energy. So that's why we're still seeing showers and thunderstorms around the Sunshine State. But now that we've seen this area of low pressure form off the northeast Florida coast, it is over warm water and it is able to organize. So that's why we're seeing this now greater chance of a depression forming, because we had the ingredients there. We had a stalled front, so with that and the upstairs energy, we were able to see a new area of low pressure form. That's what happens, when you're talking about systems forming, across the heart of the country, not just tropical systems, but if you have a really big dip in the jet stream and we start to see it, what we call tilt more neutrally or negatively, you'll start to see a surface reflection. And in this case, we kind of had that. We had the front at the surface, so all that kind of came together for this to form. Hi, Liz. How are you? Are you talking about Winter Springs right now? Liz Rodriguez, happy 4th. Because I can show you the radar if you would like. Let's see, I'm making sure I'm not missing anything here. Alrighty. Hi.
Hello.
Have a lot of people watching. So
yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I think like everyone, Laurel's back. She was just briefing the newsroom. 63 people on Facebook and 171 on
lots
YouTube.
Of folks.
I just didn't expect so many people to be watching because of the holiday.
Yeah, no, me too. Lots of people trying to get their firework forecast tonight.
Yes, and we appreciate that so much. Okay, well Liz, let me bounce on over to the radar here, and I can zoom in. Right now, you are dry, but you might be seeing some darker sky off to the east of you, Liz. There is a little downpour on top of Lake Jessup. And there's some more rain southeast of you in like Chuliota, right on the Orange Seminole County line. Amiana list to low, no rain yet near UCF. Yeah, there's rain it's kind of dancing all around you. There's some rain east of you, but nothing really right along the Central Florida Greenway. There's some rain closer to downtown, around the beach line near the airport. Charles, wow, that's amazing. Thanks for watching all the way in the Bahamas. We love that. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Okay. Hello, Lauren. How are you? Sadly, the rain will not likely be gone by 7 o'clock. Here, let me go through our Fox weather model here, kind of ironing things out through the remainder of our July 4th. Let's see, where is that graphic? There we go. Okay. So we'll take you through hour by hour. And this will hopefully help. So there's essentially right now, and because that area of low pressure is so big, I'm going to turn that off. Okay. So this initialization is just a little bit off, but it kind of gives you the feel that things are scattered. Scattered showers and thunderstorms, the name of the game, through the remainder of the afternoon into the evening. You kind of see the way the movement is because of this area of low pressure. We're starting to get that greater, more wide scale counterclockwise motion with all of this, and you can kind of see a big cluster of storms or complex of storms starts to form as we head closer to 7 o'clock. So, say as this starts to pan out and these storms do start to come together, there could be spots, say like on this data, Daytona Beach could be dry at 7 o'clock, but it could be pouring down by the theme parks, which could impact, Disney's fireworks and SeaWorld's and Universal's. So just watch the sky, watch the radar, have that Fox Local app downloaded. Nicole, Hope, how are you? I can go back to the radar and give you a little glance at Titusville, but you can kind of see here too. I'm sure you'll get some rain around Titusville. There actually is some showers and thunderstorms close to you right now. Bounce back over there to the radar because that'll help. So, Brevard County, there's some rain close to you in Titusville, just to the northwest of 95 and Route 1, west of Mims. But the heaviest of the rain right now is down closer to Melbourne, on top of the Cape, Cocoa Beach. Along A1A, you're seeing some of that heavy rain. I hope that helps. Hope. There we go. Such a pretty name. Nicole, same story for you in New Smyrna Beach. Kind of like what we have out there now. Activity is spotty. It's hit or miss. It's becoming less spotty. Coverage has increased this afternoon for sure. And we'll continue to see that trend as we head through the remainder of our 4th. All right, I'm not seeing too much on YouTube right now, at least any new comments. But thank you to all of you for hopping on. We greatly appreciate it. We'll hang out here for a few more minutes. If you have any other questions, I'll bring back up our satellite imagery and breakdown of Invest 92. We'll leave that up, and if something comes to mind. But that's our area of interest. This is what we've been talking about all week long. And if you remember, chances were low, but essentially each and every day we've seen the potential increase, and now we're up to a 70% chance of development. So if you look, it's a little lopsided, but it's definitely organized more. So I would think that there could be, especially once we get the data from the hurricane hunters, that we could have a depression before the day is said and done. And who knows, because of the temperature of the water, if it can organize more, it may even become a weak storm as we head through the next couple days. So heads up in the Carolinas, heads up if you have family there, maybe you're traveling there for a long weekend, or maybe you're off next week. Just make sure you're watching your latest flight information too, especially if you're along the southeastern seaboard. Nicole, I'm with you. I'm hoping that that's the thing. Kind of like yesterday. One of the big events around Central Florida is Red Hot and Boom, or you might be able to speak on it. I don't know if did it go off without a hitch yesterday?
So it eventually went off. It was a little bit later on, but only by like maybe 20 minutes.
Okay.
Same thing is going to be tonight. Fireworks are set to go off at 9:10 if you're planning on going to the fireworks at the fountain.
Down at Lake Yola?
Tonight.
Okay.
And then Disney is set to go off at 9. But that could be a little bit delayed just depending on if there's lightning in the area. Disney, I know if there's rain or very light rain, things are still going to go. Same with fireworks at the fountain. If there is lightning in the area, it'll be delayed. Hey! Forgot that camera moves.
I know, right? I'm gonna, let's see, can I bring it up maybe? Let's see. I'm trying to bring us up full so we can, there we go.
So yeah, Disney, if there's any light rain, if there's heavy rain, it'll probably be pushed off a little bit, and that's going to be the, Celebration America at the Magic Kingdom?
Oh my gosh, what the heck? I literally just saw it pop up on Twitter today.
I know, seriously, so.
America in the Sky or something like that. It's something like that. We're celebrating America in the Sky.
The 4th of July celebration at the Magic Kingdom. There we go. They are going to be, depending on how heavy the rain is or if lightning's in the area, that's when they're going to either push or, fingers crossed, just delay it just by about a half hour.
I hope if anything it's just delayed. I wonder if last night, our digital director Josh was telling me I don't think they got delayed. I think they saw the fireworks last night, but I think the weather scared. He said it wasn't crowded, shockingly enough, on the 3rd. It's wild, and to not have a crowded Magic Kingdom on July 3rd.
It was crazy, and I know today a lot of people are already putting on the Facebook pages that I'm involved in, and they said that, there wasn't a lot of people, but I think things are really going to pick up as we see those storms possibly start to fizzle out later on in the day, but we saw this yesterday. Those storms kind of packing a little bit of a punch.
They were nasty, yeah.
The lightning was crazy.
I was driving through a couple of them, Laurel, and I'm like, wow, this is not good. This is not fun to drive through.
Florida storms are no joke, and I will absolutely say that to anyone.
Yeah.
But the lightning was crazy yesterday. I think we're going to be still seeing a good amount of lightning today, and I think those storms are slowly going to start to fizzle out as we get closer to those firework times. So it's honestly just going to be a kind of a game time decision.
Yeah, and you know what? Bring the rain gear, bring your poncho, your umbrella. Just be prepared. I think that's especially if you've lived in Florida, your whole life, or you vacation here. You know that these storms, they'll blow through and they'll come to an end, but then you might have another one. So throw your jacket back on, your poncho, and then throw it in the bag again.
It's fireworks. You can't go. There's no way not to have fun while watching fireworks.
And I'm still shocked that it's 4th of July in general. I'm like, how did we get to the 4th already?
This summer has gone by so quick. So quick.
So fast. It just blows my mind. Well, I think we're going to leave you with that. If you have any other questions, please throw them in there, and we'll try to get back to you. But we'll be on at Laurel will be on at 4 with it's still Manny tonight, right?
No, there's no streaming tonight.
No streaming today? Well, that's news. Good. All right, so we won't be on at 4.
No streaming
on
tonight,
Fox Local.
But we'll be on at 5 on Fox Local because there's sports on Fox tonight.
Oh. Okay, so we'll be streaming on Fox Local at 5.
Yep, and then we'll be 5 to 6 on air.
5 to 6 on air. Okay.
And then join tonight at 8, 10, and 11.
Yes, we'll have you covered the rest of the night. Happy 4th.
Happy 4th. Have a safe 4th.
Yes. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all of you for hopping on.